Hey everybody, this is Rusty again with Collector Auctions. I have got a new video for you today. It is a CGC unboxing. It is the first real unboxing of the year. Now I've gotten a couple of things back from CGC this year. One was a reholder and the other was a mechanical error that they fixed. So I don't really consider those real true unboxings, but what I've got sitting right here in front of me is a big giant box here from CGC. It is a 9.8 pre-screen submission. It is an order that I sent in June of this year, June 4th. Give you some stats on this. They received it on June 9th, and it sat there until August 9th before they finally put it into their system. And I got this back yesterday. Yesterday was February 26th, so that kind of gives you an idea of just how long it actually took from the moment I shipped this out to the moment I got it back. So it's a pretty long wait. I've got some pretty good books in here. I did cheat a little bit. I couldn't help myself. I do know what a couple of the books are. As you know, with the pre-screen, if it doesn't meet that grade that you want, they will send it back to you raw. And I know a couple of those books didn't meet the grade. That's okay. I stopped myself. I didn't read anymore. I didn't check out online anymore. But the one thing we're going to do today, though, that I haven't done in the past is I'm actually going to open the box here. I have not seen what's in the box right now. It's a pretty big box, so I figure most of the other books are graded. I'm hoping that I didn't have too many raw books left in there. Normally, I would open this up as soon as I get home and show my wife and everything. But most of the time, that's after work, and it's late at night, and I don't feel like shooting a video at that point. And I save it for the next day, so I guess it's not really a true unboxing that I show you guys. Most of the time, it's basically, I'm just showing, it's a comic book haul. I'm basically showing you what I got. I already know what the grades are, but in this case, I haven't opened it, and I'm going to do it right now. So it's the first time I've done this like this, so we'll be surprised together. I have my trusty little blade right here. I can get it set. Let's open up and see what we got. Now, to tell you a little bit about this order, as I said, it was a 9.8 pre-screen submission. This was early June. This was right before I started doing my own cleaning and pressing. So what I was doing at that time was, on some of these orders, I was barely trying to pick out some really good candidates to send out that I didn't have to clean and press. I had finished sending things into CGC to have them work on it. This was probably one of the first orders that I sent in. Well, it was after I had stopped sending them books to work on, and it was kind of right in that stage where I was starting to clean and press my own books. But as I said, this order didn't have, it was a really clean order, and I felt like these books would meet the 9.8 without any cleaner press. And I'm sitting here looking at it, and there's a lot of books in here right now. Let's see. And of course, here is the box with the raw books that did not meet the grade. We'll go over those last. But let's just get into it. There's no sense holding the grade. I'm going to just pull these out, and I'll show you what I got. All right, first book up. And let's get, there's the invoice, is Berserker number 2. This is the Albuquerque foil edition. And at that point of the year, I was really high on Berserker. I'm not sure if a lot of these held their value. There are some books, some specialty covers from one of my local LCSs that have done really well. Some of these that are like this, I think still hold some value and everything. And I will have to go back and double check what the values of these are today. I figured that Berserker will do really well once we get more news on movie, TV, animation, whatever is going on with that. But it's basically really cooled down over this 8 months since I've sent this out. And well, we'll see. We'll see if there's still some value in this here. All right, second book. Okay, as I said, I didn't go back and I check and see exactly what was in this order, but I got it. There was a second copy of that. And that's really nice to be able to get 2 9/8 on these foil covers. I'd had some in the past that didn't meet that criteria. It had failed. Look at that. I got a little bit of Newton rings there. All these orders I've been getting over this last year, I have not got a lot of that. But it's not terrible. All right. Here's another Berserker. This is actually issue number 1. This is the 3rd printing. This is the foil cover to that. Who is that? That's Dan Mora artwork. I think there's some value to this one here, but this was a really nice cover. I remember picking this off the stand and at one of my LCSs. Lucky to get that. But 3rd printing, I think there is some value to number 1 on this one. So yet again, another foil that got that 9.8. As I said, I did my best to try to find really clean copies. All right, so here's a copy of Crossover from Donny Cates. This is issue number 1. And I think I ended up ordering this. I was on the bandwagon a little bit late on the Crossover series. I've enjoyed it. But I went back I found a nice dealer on eBay. I went back. I ended up buying, I think, multiple copies of the first 5 issues. I think the only ones I've sent in, I know I sent in two copies of this. So I don't know if the other one, I don't see it right off, but I should have a second copy of this in this order someplace. All right. Oh, I'm going to be... Oh, there it is. Look at that. I was looking right over it. There is a second copy of Crossover number 1. So there's a little bit of spec on this. I don't think there's a lot of value at this stage, but hopefully I can hold on to this for a little while, and we'll see how it goes up in value. All right. This one I'm super stoked for. This is not going to go anywhere in any time, and don't get excited, but it's only the facsimile reprint of Hulk 181, the first full appearance of Wolverine. And I've had this for years, and I pulled it out of the collection and didn't have to do anything to it, and I am super stoked to have another one of these facsimile reprints like this in my collection. This one is one that I won't get rid of. I love this right here. I probably will never be able to own a real copy of 181 with the prices and everything, but this right here is a very nice substitute. It's absolutely gorgeous. All right, here's one that I did see when I looked, and it is Venom Lethal Protector number 1. And as you all know, that's a pretty hard cover. If you get any kind of defect on the spine or anywhere in that foil, it's pretty unforgiving with a cardstock cover. And I know that I have a second one in there. I know the second one failed, but I knew one of them had passed, and here's the one that passed. 9.8 on the Venom Lethal Protector. That is a very nice book right there. Okay, kind of going back to one of the things I got into during the middle of the summer was me getting into Punchline. And Punchline, I came into it late, and I kind of jumped on the bandwagon a little bit here and there. I didn't go in head first into the deep end. Maybe I kind of went in midway, feet first. But I did pick up some different books. This right here is the Joker 80th Anniversary 100th Page Special. I've got a couple of these in this order here, but I love the covers on these. And I think this is from, Midtown Comics. This is cover number B, letter B. And just absolutely gorgeous. I know I think the white version's in here too. I hope both of those pass, but I'm not sure. But absolutely gorgeous. You gotta love that. I love all these early cover appearances by Punchline. As I said, I came into it late. Wasn't really into DC too much until the middle of the year, and I got into it late. Oh, look at this. Here is that second copy of Berserker number 2, that foil edition we showed you at the beginning of the video. So another copy of that. I'm doing pretty good on these foil editions here. All right, so we got a copy of, this is a book that I kind of spec'd on. I can't say that I really enjoyed it, but I did buy several copies of the first issue. This is You Promised Me Darkness, and this was the nude edition, and I probably should cover that up. But we'll show it real quick and then get it off the screen, but that's one of the variant covers. I'm not going to show that too long. I should have covered up part of that. But I know I've got 2 of them in here. I don't see the second one, so it may not have met the 9.8, but take my word on that. At least I got one. Oh, okay. Now here is one. This was the first copy of Stray Dogs that I sent in the CGC. It is Stray Dogs #1. It is the first time I had bought this book, and it is the horror variant. This is Silence of the Lambs. I think it's worth a little bit of money, but this is one of those ones. I love Silence of the Lambs. It's my favorite movie of all time, and I think this one's going to stay in the PC for a long time. So that's a really nice book to have. So I'm super psyched about that. I literally paid $10 for this at a little comic show here in the area back in the. Really, I bought this and I probably sent this in not more than a week later. So it's probably ended up in either May or June that I actually bought this. Okay, this is good to see. Not that there's any value left on this anymore, but this is ENIAC #1. It is a first printing from Bad Idea, and I had bought this. I think I've got a second one in here. I'm hoping the other one passed as well. I paid way too much for this, and at this stage right now, a 9.8 in this is I paid for how much this is worth right now graded. So definitely a money loser. I probably will look to get rid of this just to break even, but I had jumped on the bandwagon way too late, had a little bit of FOMO in the whole situation. I remember seeing this in the LCS that day when it came out, and I remember looking at this cover, and I just kind of like, ugh, I don't want to deal with that. So I just bypassed it, and of course then the whole thing with Bad Idea blew up, and I jumped on it late and sent these in. I think, like I said, I've got another one that I spent too much on, but right now, this 9.8 is worth exactly what I paid for the book to begin with. So I'm in a hole in that one. All right, here is that second copy of You Promised Me Darkness. I'm going to cover up part of it there, but this is that variant nude edition, and got the second copy. So I'm kind of glad to get that. I ended up spending, I think, $10, $12 on those. I don't know if there's any real value at this stage. I know that they just came out with the trade paperback in that. It was a kind of an interesting book to follow and everything, but don't know if there's as I said, any real spec value at this point. All right, here is Joker 80th Anniversary 100-page super spectacular #1. This is cover C. Now, as you can imagine, this is the same punchline, except it just has a different background. This has a white background, and happy about this. I got 2 copies of that, so sorry about the glare, but I've got 2 copies of that one, and definitely sell one of them. I definitely will keep one of them for my PC. Oh, you can't imagine how happy I am to see this one right here. As I said, I didn't go back and check my order after I peeked twice and saw about 5 books, but I didn't see this one, and I am super happy. This one right here, Something That's Killing Children #2, regular cover. I think this is the Jenny Frison. Actually, it's not Jenny Frison. I thought it was, but it's not. That's my mistake. But anyway, this right here, just a beautiful cover. I bought this. I paid a pretty good price for it. It's gone up in value a lot. 9.8 on this is super good. Super good. This right here is just fantastic. I was a little worried on the spines over here a little bit. I mean, it's a little suspect, but hey, we got the 9.8, and I'll take a closer look to see if I can even see where that spot where I thought was a little questionable. But you know, you buy stuff off of eBay and you can't really inspect it, and you're paying these high prices, and you're expecting just a perfect copy, and that's not the way it happens all the time. So I was real lucky with that came back 9.8. I am super stoked about that. All right, so I'm looking right here. I got 2 copies of this. This is the first edition. This is the first issue. This is the 8th edition. And I think I've already got a couple of these actually already back in the collection. But I've got two in this order right here. That's really nice. I had bought several of these again from eBay. I didn't pick it up from my LCS, but I picked up copies from various eBay sellers, and some of them came back really nice, like these, and some of them came back with some ticks in it. So hey, give me a reading copy. Okay, here's a book that I thought was going to end up being more valuable, but it is the Federici variant cover to Dark Knight's Death Metal #3. It's got Robin King on there, and this is not the super expensive issue or cover from this run, from this issue. I think there's another cover that's a lot more valuable that I think is considered the first appearance of Robin King, the first cover appearance. I believe this is also the first book of Robin King. But I love this cover. I thought this was very dynamic. It's only him on there, and like I said, I got two of those. I didn't spend a lot. This is probably just a little bit more than cover price on those. So if that's a character that they end up expanding on more, that's a really good first. I think it's a first appearance. All right, got two books left, and here's that second copy of ENIAC. Again, happy that this came back in 9.8, because if it hadn't come back in 9.8, then I'm kind of left with, well, what do I do with that raw issue at that point? But happy to get the 9.8. You can't go wrong with that at that point. You know, at least it will retain that value that I paid for it at the very beginning. And last book that I've got here, I am stoked about this. Who knows how this is going to play out in the MCU, but it is the first issue of Dark Avengers #1. And as you know, you can see that they're building something in the MCU with, whether it's the Thunderbolts or the Dark Avengers, probably going to be more like the Thunderbolts, as they probably don't want to taint the Avengers name too much. Who knows? But this will still end up being a lot of value right here. I am super happy to have that right there. That's a great copy to have. So anyway, guys, that is the last book that I've got in here. So why don't we take a quick look at what did not meet the grade. And let's see what we have. As I said, I know I've got one in here that's the Lethal Protector from Venom. And yep, there's that one. So that one didn't meet the grade. This is disappointing. This is Amazing Spider-Man 49. This is the Bruce Timm cover. Very disappointed in that. I love that cover. One of my favorite recent Bruce Timm covers that he's done. And I know I ended up have to really take a close look at this and see what's not happening on there. But I thought that was a super clean copy. And for the second time, and I don't know if this is the same issue or a new one I bought, but it is Batman. Which one is this? This is Batman 106. This is, I believe, the first cameo of, who is it? It's Molly. What's her name? Oh my God, I can't remember her name. But she, anyway, this cover, I've got the other ones as a 9.8. I've gotten those back, but this one right here, I love the cover on it, and this is the second time and the second copy of this that I've sent in, and I'm 0 for 2 on this issue right here. I may have to start giving up on that. And it's not a high spec book for this cover or anything, but I love the cover, and it's two-sided. It wraps around. Here, I'll pull it out here. As you can see, you've got the cover there, and it continues around on the back side. And really just love that. That looked great in the slab. But anyway, that's an 0 for 2 on that. But so anyway, put that back up there so you can take another look at it. But that's it. So that's it. 3 books did not meet the 9.8. That's pretty good. 22 out of 25 met the 9.8. Most of these books will end up going up for sale. There's a handful, like the book 181 that I'm keeping for the PC, and this one right here, of course. The rest of them, maybe one of those punchlines I'll keep, but the rest of them I'm going to end up in my eBay store. If you're interested, if you're watching the video and you're interested in any of them, just reach out. You can always contact me at collectorauctions.com. Excuse me, collectorauctions@yahoo.com. I've got also links in there to my eBay store, so I always have things listed in eBay. You can always check out and see what I've got there. But that's it, guys. Pretty good unboxing here. I think it's been very, very successful. I've got one more box that has already shipped. I should have it in this week. I will be doing a new video on that. I'm excited about doing this next video. It is a 22 book modern order. Wasn't a pre-screen, obviously. It is it is the second of my first 2 orders that went in at the exact same time. First order came back. It was my very first order. It came in, but this was the other very first order, but it also was going to CCS, and they worked on it forever, and literally it took 11 months to get in. And so it's coming back this week. It's got some big banger books in it. Not overly huge, but there's still a lot of value in that box. I remember what I valued that box at, raw. So I can only imagine if I have some really good grades in there, what the values are going to be. So I'm super excited about this. Not that I'm not excited about this order right here. Very successful, 22 out of 25. So guys, that is it. That is the end of the video. Have a good day, and I'll see you for the next video.